Good morning everybody. Hello, how are you? I hope you're all well wherever you are. Here's another update on how we're getting on with shipping your plinths to you. The shipping forecast is positive. We are sending out we've sent out several hundred so far. We are assembling like crazy and shipping them out in batches. So if you haven't had yours yet, don't panic. I guess we're probably between a third and a halfway through. I mean, we have got, getting on for 2,500 plinths to assemble and check, and we are assembling and checking each and every individual one. Let me update you as to what's happening on that front. You may recall from an earlier update that I had a problem with these wings clipping home on some plinths, and that is down to just basically tolerancing and tiny variations in the moulding, which were making about a third of them not clip home reliably. So what we're having to do is we're having to check each and every one as we assemble it, and with some we have to do a little bit of sanding and a little bit of trimming with a scalpel just to make sure they work perfectly. So obviously this is taking time, and I apologise as always that all of this is taking so long, but goodness me, if there's one thing this project has been, it's a learning curve. I have learnt more in the last 6 to 9 months than I think possibly. Certainly I've learnt a lot. This has been an amazing experience. Manufacture there are so many different facets to it, and I think I've mentioned this to you before, but if any of you are backing other Kickstarter projects, be gentle with the creators, because many of them are doing this for the first time. Many of them aren't actually in the manufacturing profession as I am. There are so many different aspects, so many different variables, and I was in a really lovely conversation with the toolmaker Richard a few weeks ago, and I was trying to get to the bottom of why we have gone so far out of court on this project, and he said, every single project that we take on, you give your estimates, you give your quotations based on years of experience, but he said it is only an estimate, because it's not until you start cutting steel and once you get the tools finished and into the molds, that you really start to learn how it performs. Some work well, some work smoothly, but with others there are problems. There is no doubt that I have pushed on some boundaries with these mouldings, and when you get your plinths you'll see that the shapes and the forms are pretty complex, and the way that they fit together is pretty complex, and I'm really pleased with it. I think it's a great little product. Here's one of the graphite and teal ones, which is just about to go off for printing with the Geek Beat logo, and here is a certain competitor, which is the next, probably a competitive product. But if you see the difference in size, in that view it isn't that much, in that view it's a lot. This thing will slip in your pocket and it's very small and compact, and it's got the functionality and everything which you guys know all about. So we have got a very good product, but we have pushed on some boundaries, and that is taking some sorting out. The fact that we're finishing all of these by hand and checking each and every one is the only way that I can be sure that the product I send you is as good as it can possibly be at this moment in time. Now, work is ongoing, because we are still working on the tools, we are still trying to make them even better than they were. There are still aspects where we've got tiny little bits of flash where the finishes aren't quite as perfect as we can. But one of the biggest lessons I've learned in this project is about compromise. It's about trying to find a way through a path where you've got to make some sacrifices in one area in order to hit some targets in other areas. And one thing that I am very conscious of, and I have tried to do all the way through this project, is actually to get you your products as soon as possible. So we are having to finish them by hand. It's a little bit like in the olden days, products used to be made by hand, and they would be checked and they would be finished so that they were absolutely right before the person who made them actually sent them out to his customers, because he knew that that was actually what his reputation depended on. So it's okay. I think it's good. The tools are getting better all the time. The other thing that I was never really aware of, but Richard told me about when last we met, is that, you know, injection mold tools actually bed in. They take time over the first few thousand mouldings. The quality of the mouldings will get better as the thing settles in. So, you know, the thing's improving, which is good. So the assembly time is obviously quite slow. I've got my son and my daughter and some people from the village and various people helping me out with the assembly. The house is full of hundreds of plinths. Here are a couple of hundred there, which they're the Geek Beat ones just about to go off and be printed. So it's all happening. It's quite exciting. I had hoped that I wouldn't have to do any of this, that I'd get somebody else to assemble them, ship them, pack them, and that would all be done. But as it's turned out, you know, we're doing it, and I think that's the right way to do it. So I hope you'll bear with us on that. Another thing that has had a huge impact on time is that actually they're taking a lot longer to mould than Richard had hoped for. The cycle time on the mould tools in order to get the mould stable and steady in the right dimensions is actually slower than he had hoped. So it has actually taken several weeks to mould your 2,500 plinths. Okay, so anyway, it's happening. If you haven't received it yet, they're on their way. We're on the case, and hopefully they'll be with you. I would estimate we should finish shipping probably within the next 2 to 3 weeks, and I know that's still a long time. Do keep sending me, if you move or you change your address, I am actually keeping an eye on each and every email and each and every message and checking it against whether or not it's been shipped or not. So this is down to me, the fact that it's not all happening at once. So do keep me aware if you move, and I can check as to whether your product's been shipped or not. Okay, don't send me emails asking, can you just tell me whether mine's gone or not, because I haven't got time to deal with thousands of emails. When you do get your plinth, be aware that it's a new moulding, it's a new assembly, and what we have found is that actually the performance improves with time. So if it feels a bit stiff or a bit, you know, doesn't quite latch home properly, just give it a few days and use it for a few days, and you should find it settles down. If it doesn't, then give me a call and I'll try and sort that out with you. Okay, the only other thing that I want to talk to you about this morning is that for commercial reasons, and purely because the length of this project has pushed me right to the wall financially, and I've had to take out a bank loan to try and help through the cash flow side of this, is that I have now actually made online purchasing available on the My Plinth website. So tell your friends, if you want to buy some more, then please do. I am trying to ship those out as and when I can, but and I know that I am conscious that in an ideal world, you Kickstarters should have had your products first. You should be the first people in the world to receive these. But I just can't. I can't sit around. I can't, well, not sit around, but I can't wait. For that to happen, because I need to start getting some sales money in, and at the moment I've got absolutely no sales money coming in, and that needs to change. So I have listed it online on my website. We have shipped some products to a couple of online retailers. They are only sort of small trial orders at this point, but you know, I need to start getting those wheels turning, because Christmas is not that far away now. So you know, we just have to, we need to duck and dive, and we need to do things as we can, as best we can. Anyway, rest assured, I am working on this with every single working moment from about 5 o'clock in the morning until I fall in a heap at 7 o'clock in the evening. I'm on the case, I am doing my best, and we will get these to you as quickly as we can, and they will be to the highest quality that I can achieve at this point in time. Okay, I hope the sun is shining for you where it is as it is here. It's a lovely autumn morning, and I will be in touch again soon as there is any more news. Okay, thanks then. Best of luck to you. Bye bye.